Hello and welcome to this puzzle run, part 14 of this puzzle run on chess.com, where you can follow along as I solve these puzzles. And they're starting to get more difficult here. So let's begin. Here, the black queen is just captured on e3. And so what does white have in this position? How does white continue here? Let's see. Please feel free to pause the video if you need more time to think, but you're probably solving these faster than I am, as they are now more difficult and they're taking longer. Let's see. So we have two bishops aimed up here and the rooks and this pawn. So possibly, have you found the move that you think is the best here? So we probably want to check for sure, as if we don't, this queen will be able to capture our bishop and check our king. So if we look at checks, this bishop capturing here would force the king to move, and then it could allow us to push that pawn up. So that may be a possibility. So let's look at that. So bishop captures, forcing the king to capture. And then how do we follow that up? Do we push forward with our pawn, which he could capture with his rook after we promote? And then I think we could just move this other rook here with a mate. All right, let's try that. Capture, promote, and here, and mate. All right, so on to the next one. All right, the king has just moved to g7. So what do we do here? Do we capture the rook? And then if his king goes up there and our king marches forward, he would be able to grab the opposition. Well, let's see. Okay, if we just captured his rook and he recaptured, if we moved our king up, then he could just jump back here. He would have the opposition. He would be able to block our pawn. So do we check with the pawn first? Does that do anything? Check with the pawn. He can't capture the pawn. He would have to move. Well, let's see. He would have to move back to protect this. Then we could check him again if he moved here. Okay, I think that works. We go there. Okay, now we can just pick off his rook and win that way. All right, because if he tried to protect his rook by moving his king to g8, then we could just attack him with that pawn again. And then if he moved down, we could capture. If he captured, then our pawn would promote. So that was an interesting little problem there. All right, So the knight that was under attack by our pawn just moved away. So what do we have here? We could just capture a pawn on d3, but we're behind in material. Let's see, because he has that extra knight. So if we just move our queen over here, does that work? Threatening to mate here. So if we move the queen, it looks like he can just retreat to here. Then if we attack, he can retreat down to there. So do we need, have you found something better? Just pause if you need to, but another option, maybe sacrificing a rook, forcing the king over to here, and now we can bring the queen in with check, and when he moves back to here, now if we bring the rook, he can still move over to here. Well, okay. Well, let's see, how can we do this? All right, I'm having a little bit of trouble with this one. Okay, if we sacrifice the rook, he would be forced to capture. Does that do anything? Then we check him with the queen move back to here. We bring the other rook in, but it gives him time to run away. So check, if he moves down here, if we capture this pawn, do we have any kind of follow-up? He could just attack us. Okay. Well, let's see. I don't know. Do we just move the queen here immediately? Okay. We move the queen. Oh, then we threaten mate, and the rook can attack the queen, and so maybe that's it. The queen can jump over here, threatening mate, but also this rook and the queen from h7 will line up on this pawn and be able to fork the queen and this knight. And in order to protect, if the queen goes here, then the king will be blocked in. So I think that works. Okay. Oh, but now how do we follow it up? Do we just capture? And then we'll be ahead by 2 pawns. So I think we just do, well, then he'll capture here. Let's see. Well, we could capture immediately here. Oh, he has a threat of coming down here. So, say we go. Ah, that's not what they want. Come on. Ah. Okay. What do they want in this position? Do we just capture immediately? And if he captures... Oh, yeah. What the heck was I thinking? That he could have just recaptured with the knight if I went there. Alright. So then we capture. Alright. So I messed that one up a little bit. Let's move on to the next one. Alright. Here, a rook. Did he just capture one of my rooks? Anyway, a rook moved here and I'm in check. So I have three possible responses. I have to stop this check. So queen, bishop, or rook. Okay, so do I capture with the rook? Probably, because I want to keep this queen here to put some kind of pressure on. Alright, so he does that to prevent me from going here. Now I can just pick this off, it looks like. Pick this off, and then how do I follow up? Even here, it looks like, let's see. What happens if the queen goes here? Does that do anything? Attacking this bishop. I guess you could. And he's threatening to go here as well. So if the queen went here, what would be best? I guess the bishop could move here and the rook can't take, or then there's check and a mate threat up here. All right, on to the next one. Taking too long. All right, the rook has just moved here, putting me in check. So we're in check by this black rook, and what is the best response here? So do we just capture? Do we just capture here? Then if he captures, we capture. And that looks like the most obvious is to just capture here. Huh. Just capture. Is there anything better? Well, no, we have to capture there. Then we get this pawn. But is it better to pin this bishop first? I think it is. There. Here. Yeah. All right. On to the next one. Okay, we have a pawn move. So here a pawn breakthrough. Black is trying to break through. If I capture, this pawn will march forward and promote. So what can we do about that? Well, we could move here and take control of this queening square and march this one up first. So if we go here and he moves, he captures, or he goes here, then we have check and He will have to move, then we can go here. All right, so it looks like that will work. So let's do that. Oh, and it does not want that. Come on. What does it want here? Probably for me to capture first. Nope, it doesn't even want that. What is the move here? Oh, great. The move that I was looking at to begin with, and then I forgot to do it. Thinking I had already done it. So I needed to move here first and then move my pawn up. All right. That was a case of seeing the correct move and then looking at other things and forgetting to play the correct move first. All right. On to the next one. Let's try to avoid those kind of mistakes. All right, the queen has just moved to the center of the board here, attacking my f2 pawn, threatening a check here possibly to harass my king. What do we have? We have a check here with the queen. The king will be forced to move to e8, then bishop to h5 check. The king will have to move again, and then we have mate. Okay, so check, check, and mate. All right, on to the next one. Okay, so we have king to h3. The white king was in check, just moved. How do we follow up here? How do we follow up? Well, let's see. First, do we have any threats against our king? Yes, the queen could jump down here and attack. So we probably need to do something immediately. We could check with this pawn. And if the king does not capture and moves here, we have mate on h2. But if he does capture, then how do we respond? We can check him here. He would have to move and then mate. Okay, there, there, and there. All right, on to the next one. Here we go. Bishop has just captured on b5, and now our knight is under attack, but we have a rook lined up on the king. So perhaps we will have some type of discovered attack that we can use to our advantage here. Let's see. So if we move this knight, where can we move the knight to the best, to achieve the best advantage once we move it? Okay. Well, if we move the knight here, then the king will be forced, because the knight will cover the e8 square, bishop will cover e7, and the king would be forced to go to the only square, well, unless he blocks with this bishop. So that's another thing to watch out for, this bishop moving back here and blocking. But we could just capture it. But if we move here and the king moves here, do we have any kind of follow-up? So maybe we have to move here attacking the rook, but we're behind in material because he still has his queen. So if we move here, this will force him, unless he blocks with this, but then we could just check the bishop, and then if he moves here, we could check with the other rook, and I think that would be mate. So probably knight to b6. So that would force him to go to e8. And what could we do then? We could check him here, forcing him back, and then bring the other rook in. All right, I think that'll work. Pause it if you need to calculate yourself. All right, there. Now we check the rook. He blocks, we check, and he would be forced to just move back to d8, and then we could mate him with the other rook. You know, as the knight and bishop help cover everything, the knight cuts off this escape, and here the bishop keeps him from going over here. All right, I hope you figured that one out, and let's move on to the next one. I'll try to get to 2450 unless I run into some hard problems and difficulties. All right, so what do we have here? He just captured on c6, and we have a check possible here. So what can that do? If we check the king into the corner, and then how do we respond after that? Does that even work? So if we capture, use the queen, capture on f2, and check him, do we have any kind of follow-up after that? I don't know. I'm not seeing a good follow-up. So what does material look like? We are behind in material after he just captured. So if we just recapture, it would be pretty even. Can we capture here? Threatening his queen, he could just move his rook and pin the knight here. If we capture his queen, he captures ours. Then we could recapture. Maybe that's what they want. Or does he just move the queen here? Attacking our queen. If we capture, he captures. Our knight could jump in here with a check. I don't know. I'm just not seeing a way to get in there. But I don't know. It looks like... Let me look at the queen capture again. Okay, queen captures on f2 with check. Queen captures. The king is forced into the corner. And then do we retreat back, threatening mate there? That looks like the best thing to do. Then he could block. With a pawn here. but then we could fork his king and queen. So looks like that is the move. And then the fork. Then just take his queen. All right. Okay, I hope you found that one as well and did it quicker than I did. On to the next one. Okay, the king was in check by the queen on e4, and so the king moves to d1. And how can black proceed here? What is the best path forward? Let's look at his king safety. What do we have as far as checks? Well, queen to f3, but he could capture with his knight, or block, or run. So, what other options do we have? Do we just take his knight in the center there? We could do that. We could, well, I don't know if there's any kind of good follow-up. If we take the knight and he just recaptures, then what do we do? Do we check him? He could block. We could capture here. All right, well, I'm thinking capture this knight on e5 unless there's something better. Are there any checkmate threats on the white king? I don't know. It looks like all I have is this knight. If this knight captures... Oh, the queen could capture up there as well. So, capture. Queen could recapture. Then what do we do? Check. He could block. We just get this pawn maybe and threaten to take this. He could jump here. Okay. Is there something trickier that we can do? Something trickier. Because if we just capture and let his queen come up here, then his queen is attacking down this diagonal. And if his bishop gets a chance to get in here, he could have a mate threat. All right. What can we do here? Does this knight check do anything? Do we sacrifice this knight in the center here if the pawn captures the other knight? Or if we just... Let's see. Maybe sacrifice one of the knights for this d4 pawn. And then, what do we do after that? Does that work? If we sacrifice a knight, if he captures, we take with the other knight. What does that achieve? A threat of a check here. Then he would have to run over to here. Then we could fork his king and a rook. But is that enough? No, it does not like that. What about this one? That was the one. I used the wrong knight. But why did that make a difference? Oh, it doesn't want that follow-up. Okay, now I'm just having all kinds of problems. Okay. Do I check? I'll go here after the rook, maybe. And then I can pick off his rook. And then I could capture here. So, capture. Alright, that one was a little trickier. I just started it off wrong. Alright, I hope you did better on that one than I did. On to the next one. I wanted to try and get to 2450, but I don't know. Just when I start going up, I drop back down again. Okay, so d4 is attacking my pawn and my knight at the same time. And my king is open here a little bit. What threats do we have? So I have a check here. The king would be forced to move. So does that do anything? So check with the queen. The king would have to move. The king could just move to g1, and then I don't see any kind of immediate follow-up. Okay, so check. Then what? Do we move this knight first? I don't know. Man. Oh, wait a minute. I just found a tricky move that might have a factor in this. Okay. So if we go here with check, it takes away this position of the knight being able to fork here. So, have you found the move? I think I've found it. Queen over here. And now this allows a fork here. And then we can just take the queen. Alright, that was a little tricky because that was such a long distance move. It was easy to overlook at first, and hopefully you found it right away. All right, on to the next one. Let's see if we can get to 2450. Okay, pawn is just pushed forward to e7, attacking our rook, and also preventing us from checking here, or we'll be captured. So this is not good. And if we move here with the rook, he can capture and checkmate us, I believe. Okay, so we need to find a way to get some checks in. Okay, if we check here, check. If the king moves away, we can capture and check again. So he'll probably just move down here, protecting this pawn. But then that would give us the bishop check on c1. And then what would he do? Would he move down here further? And then do we have any follow-up after that move? Ah, we have to go here once again, the long distance move, I think. So check. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. So queen to a1 check. But now he can just move there. And we're not able to capture that pawn with check. So if he moves there, okay, what can we do here? What can we do? Okay, check. He moves there. So maybe we have to go here, check on b1. And if he goes here, maybe we can swing over. Leave the bishop there and swing over with the queen. Okay, so that's probably our only chance that I see is queen to b1 check. If he goes here, we can check by taking this pawn. So he'll probably go straight down. Then we can swing the queen over to c1 with check. And if he goes here, we can check again. All right. There. There. Now, do we just capture? And then what do we do if he goes there? But it looks like we have to do that. If he goes there, we could go here, but he can block. So we would probably have to go there. So check. Oh, we have this pawn check as well. So that works. Pawn check. If he goes here, the bishop can attack. If he goes here, the queen. Well, let's take a quick look at it. Check on e4. All right, so check on e4. And what would be best? If he jumps up there, we can check. Then he's forced to go here. We could check again, but he could take, we could take, but all right, so yeah, he's in check. His only options are to go here on g3. That would allow this and force him to sacrifice his queen, and then we could go here. All right, but if he doesn't go there, if he went up here, check, and that would be mate. All right, on to the next one. We're getting close to 2450. So the pawn has pushed forward, preventing a checkmate here. So how do we follow up? All right, we have a bishop, a knight, queen. So, all right. What is the best move here? All right. Do we just capture this knight? And what is the best way to do that? With the queen or with this knight? Capture the knight. That looks to be best. But does it matter if we capture with the queen or with the knight? If we capture with the knight, he could capture with check, recapture, All right. Did that help him with anything? Not really. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. If we go here, capture, capture. If we capture, let's see. I don't. That looks to be the move. Capture with the knight, but it is not. All right. Well, capture with the queen. So I just did it in the wrong order, I guess. All right. Well, we dropped back down. Let's try it again. Okay. King was in check. King has moved to c2. What do we have here? What do we have? We have a knight check on b4. Knight check on b4. Does that end the game? All right, on to the next one. Okay, the queen is just captured on a6. What do we have against white's king? We have a check. Okay. Do we capture? Do we just capture this knight? What does the material look like? 1, 2, we got 4 minor pieces. So we're behind. Do we need to capture here with the knight? Pawns, we have 4, 5 to 7. So we're behind. We'll end up being behind in material. So we have to go in for a mate. Okay, here we go. Have you found the moves? Check. 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 Mate. All right. Okay, on to the next one. We have to get to 2450. Okay, what was that? A capture? All right, what do we have? What do we have? We have a check. So we can check here on the king. The king will have to move. We can check again. So that's the most obvious move, is to just check with the queen. The king will be forced to move up because nothing can block. Then the queen can swing over here and attack. And then we're able to take the rook over here. So, I don't know, that looks best. All right, now, do we just take over here? He could trap our queen in. Do we have something better? We have a check here. Check. If he blocks with the pawn, we check again. I think that may be best. But how do we follow up? So I would say check, check, and he can't block with the rook. We just capture, or with the bishop, we just capture. So he would be forced to move here. And then we could capture again with check. All right. Well, we're almost there. We'll try and get to 2450. So a capture. Okay, what do we have here? How can we get through to this king? And we have a threat here of check on us. All right. So if we don't want to be checked on a2 by this rook, what can we do? Our queen is under attack. So if we check here, the king would be able to move down, and then it would cover that, these rooks would cover that queening square with the king. Oh, but we would have this check by capturing this pawn. So he probably would not come down here. So check. He would capture possibly the knight. I think that's the move, is to just push this pawn forward, but let's double check everything. So if we push the pawn to h7, we're attacking the king. What if he just blocks himself, or uses the pawn as a shield and goes to h8? So that is something that you can do. You don't always have to capture this pawn. If it pushes up to h7, sometimes you can just go in front of it and use it as a shield to keep your pieces, keep your opponent's pieces from being able to continue the attack. So do we just check right away? Maybe that's the best move. Check. Huh. Yeah, I think that's the move. Check. He can't block it. He can't capture the queen, so he would have to run. If he goes here, we have mate, or here, so I guess that's it. Okay, hopefully you found that one faster than I did. All right, I will stop there today before this video gets too long. If you have enjoyed this puzzle run on chess.com, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments or suggestions. Remember, the 150th video for this channel is coming up, and if you vote for who you think the greatest chess player of all time is, I will do a game review of that greatest player. We'll just do a game on that player, whoever has the most votes. All right, thank you everyone, and have a great day.